The sort of master key to high performance, if there is one in anything, is full engagement, full relaxation. You switch on and you switch off. Think about an Olympic athlete that's training 3 times a day. They train, then they rest fully. They go nap, they go eat, they go lay around, they might stretch a little bit, but like fully rest. And then they train hard and then they fully rest. If you think about that same Olympic athlete in a sprint, for example, the actual movement of the sprint feels very dynamic, but what it is a really rapid succession of full contraction and full relaxation happening rapidly in the muscle tissue, in the tendons and so forth, in the nervous system. Actually, it's fully switching on, fully switching off. And so for high performance in anything, again, full engagement, full rest. The ability to switch yourself on and sink into a flow state and work hard needs to also be balanced. And we're all developing that. That's obvious that we need to develop that. The less obvious and sort of counterintuitive ability we need to develop is the ability to shift out of that mode and into a full rest and full relaxation. That's not as common. The skill of resting and recovering is absolutely critical, fundamental. An old coach of mine used to say, you can only speed up what you can slow down. If a car's horsepower and its speed is considerably stronger than its braking ability, it's going to crash. And that's what we have in a lot of cases with people that are just pedal to the floor all day long, like, just full speed or die, berserker mode all the time. And they crash. Inevitably, they crash. That same person could go berserker mode for a period of time, and it might even be a long period of time. Like they could be working hardcore 6, 8, 10 hours a day. But if that person has a dialed in recovery ability where they can fully disconnect, shift their nervous system into rest mode and fully recover using techniques and tools, or just simply like actually internally regulating and slowing their self down all the way so that they can rapidly recover, they might be able to repeat that intense bout of work over and over and over again, because in between, they're fully rebooting the system. That's a skill to develop. That's what the David Goggins and the Jocko Willings won't tell you, is that recovery needs to be trained. That's an ability to down-regulate your nervous system and reboot your mental, physical, emotional energy. That's an ability that needs to be trained to the same degree. So it's, for most of us, like high performance types, athletic types, entrepreneurial types, for most of us, we actually need to bias more towards the recovery side, because most of us go like head first through the brick wall, working all day long, no holds barred, take no prisoners all day long. Like that, we know that mode, like we've got that. But eventually, as Eamon, we were talking about, it's you're going to start slowing down and the work is going to start taking longer than it did before. And suddenly the time it takes to do a task is doubled. And then you're getting fewer tasks done, even though you're working longer in the day, and your system is just slowing down because it needed to slow down while you were away. So again, full engagement, full recovery. You sit down, put your phone on airplane mode and work in as close to a flow state as you can get. Full engagement, all of your attention on the task. Then when the timer goes off, you wrap up what you're doing, fully disconnect. Take your mind off it, go for a walk, fully disconnect, not fucking around on your phone, still kind of working or like going past the time. None of that. Cut it. Clean cut. Disconnect. Whenever you come back, again, put it on airplane mode, full engagement. then full rest, full engagement. That cycle is one that needs to be mastered, but all the way in or all the way out. And notice whenever your mind is slowing down, whenever your emotions feel dysregulated, there can be like a subtle drop in your energy. And we've been conditioned in many cases to fight through that. Oh, don't be a pussy, shit like this. And it's like, no, listen to the intelligence of your body. The intelligence of your body is smarter than the intelligence of the dumbass ego program that's running, that our coaches installed, and that David Goggins voice in the back of your mind. Like, the wisdom of the body is smarter than that, I promise you. So when things start to fall off and you just, the juice is running low, fully disconnect, top up the tank, then re-engage. Okay. And get used to those subtle signs. Okay, it's taking too long to do this task. My mind feels like it's moving through the mud. I feel stressed kind of for no reason, or at the extreme end of it, like I had, like full blown, fight or flight fear in the morning and at night when I went to bed. It's like, okay, take a rest, take a rest. And what do you know? I feel pretty good today. Not all the way back, but pretty good. So again, like, master that cycle of full engagement, full disconnect, full recovery, and you will be way more effective than trying to just like red line it all the way to the finish line. That just isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. And you can work hard and a lot. For sure, you can work hard and a lot, but only if you rest hard and a lot as well. And if you can rest fully and master the skill of down regulating your nervous system and fully resting, then you actually can work harder and harder and harder and harder progressively over time. You can put in more volume as you get more efficient with your recovery ability. Okay. There are people that talk about hard work and working hard and discipline and blah, blah, blah. Most of them don't work hard / have a distorted view of what hard work and discipline actually is. Very distorted. A lot of people can talk about it. Very few people can do it, because it's an ability that needs to be trained like a muscle. And not many people have built that muscle. So don't believe everything you hear. The social media influencer has no skin in the game, or very little skin in the game, over generally the results that they get from they have a lot more room for error than, let's say, the Olympic athlete. The Olympic athlete has a hard deadline. On this day, you need to be the best you've ever been. And your entire life, your entire identity will be defined by how you perform at this time on this day 4 years from now. So every fucking thing you do between now and then has to be dialed. Do you think that guy is not listening to the signals that his body's giving him? Do you think that guy or girl is running themselves into the ground overtraining? It quickly, if they're paying any attention at all, becomes very clear that you cannot do that, because it won't produce the result, and you're going to shit the bed come game day, and you'll never forgive yourself for it. So staying up till 3 a.m. stretching for 2 hours is not a fucking option. Doing this silly playing around with bands in the gym for 2 hours instead of actually lifting weights, like Liam was saying, not an option. You must get results. And so, even if we're not going to the Olympics in 4 years, guess what perspective you can take that's going to be very useful. If there's a certain result that you want, and it's gun to the head, you must get that result or die trying, what would you do? I promise you, it's some version of full engagement, full rest, no lukewarm bullshit where you're kind of sort of doing the thing. Every single time you sit down to do the work, it's full attention. Every time you get up, it's full recovery so we can come back and hit it harder. Every single time, every cycle's optimized. We're never, ever falling into this lukewarm, wishy-washy kind of doing it, kind of not doing it, doom scrolling on Instagram during work hours, and then kind of like picking away at my work while I'm watching TV at night. None of that. It's every single moment, full attention, full relaxation, optimizing both sides of the cycle. That's the like Olympic athlete level approach. If your gun was to your head and you had to produce the result, what would you do? Your mind becomes very clear very quickly. And it won't be running yourself into the ground. That's not an efficient way of going about it. Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed today's clip. And if you did, here's where you can go deeper right now. So my favorite part of the work that I do here is a daily email newsletter that I write every morning on the topics of human development and human potential, life strategy, training the mind, productivity and life optimization, and generally speaking, the path to self-mastery. And so if you enjoy these talks, I know you're going to love the newsletter. And if you'd like to check it out, hit the link in the description or head over to taylorallen.me and you can sign up free of charge. I hope we see you there.